Hello, my dear ones. Always busy, 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 busy. I hope you're all okay. And those of you that are suffering are working your way back. I hope you're working yourselves out of this pain and suffering a lot of you guys are in. It's horrible to live a life like that. But as you know, on this planet, the answers haven't always been there for people. I mean, they have been. Truth is always there. But that old saying, do you have eyes to see it? Yep. Well, I'm going to keep on doing Q&A because Chris pulled off a lot more questions. So we have these two groups of questions here. So it's quite a bit. And I want to try to help as many of you as I can. So this is from Pam. Hi, Pam. Oh, look at this. My 90-year-old dad. Now, first of all, if you've got a 90-year-old dad or mom, counting on some good genes there, that's incredible, boy. That means you, Pam, you could have some good genes. Ooh, 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 ooh. Her dad has high potassium due to kidney failure. I had ordered a kidney tonic, one for him. I recently read this warning for high potassium levels. You may like to take herbs as a way to treat your ailments. However, there are a few herbs that you shouldn't take when you have high potassium levels. Alfalfa, nettle, and dandelion can increase your potassium levels and should be avoided. Perhaps there should be a warning on your capsules. Not at all, sweetheart. Not at all. Matter of fact, when you're getting into people like your dad who is in renal failure, we use all the fruits. Fruits also high potassium. You can't avoid potassium. Wrong way. When your dad is in trouble like this and is also going to get in trouble with phosphorus, you're going to have phosphorus binders and have the medical profession helping keep his potassium down. This is a case, we're talking about the last video, we're talking about tough cases. When you get into dialysis, and this is one of the examples we were giving, tough cases, part of that tough case with dialysis is high potassium and high phosphorus. Well, that's because you're in kidney failure. But you cannot stop consuming potassium herbs and potassium foods because almost every food has potassium in it, especially your fruits and your berries and your melons. So how are you going to get away from that? And is that the answer? That is not the answer. You have to keep working on those kidneys. Very important to keep working on the kidneys. You don't work on the kidneys, you're going to go. You're going to go down. Kidney failure is all the things you see in the medical world of diseases. Literally almost everything is due to kidney failure when you understand that the kidneys are the main eliminative organs of what? The gigantic lymphatic system. So I know, Pam, you're probably wigging out on this, but this is just another thing. And for you guys that are working with dialysis patients and stuff, this is common. High potassium and high phosphorus. You have to let the medical doctors give them a pharmaceutical for high potassium and phosphorus binders, because you cannot stop. If you want to get this, save this person and get them well, you cannot stop because of a little high potassium. Matter of fact, when we put them all on the fruits and the stuff, the medical doctors always scare you with high potassium, heart attacks and crap like that. We've never seen a problem one. Not a problem one. But if there's fear with that, then you have the medical doctors control his high potassium while you keep on going down that road, because you cannot stop with the very things that fixes the kidneys because they're high in potassium. Can't do that. Won't work. I've been doing this way too many years, Pam, honey, and nope, not at all. It's the same thing as allergies. Pretty soon you're allergic to everything. You just eliminate what you're allergic to, right? No. You fix the system that's down, which is the lymphatic system, and then you're allergic to nothing. So these are sort of the things that you can't run and hide when you have problems and you've got to fix your people. You don't run and hide when you have stats going up and down. That's medical fear. And the medical doctors don't know what we have behind us. You have hydration, you have base skin, you have everything that supports life. So nothing's going to happen to them, and if they want to control potassium levels, have at it. Because we don't care. But to stop anything with potassium, you'd have to stop anything healthy. Putting back on the same foods is killing him. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Have a lot of experiences with this one. This is Marian. Hi, Dr. Morse. For 3 years now, I've had a big, ugly red veins developing on the whites of my eyes. Oh, yeah, and I don't know how to get rid of them. Okay, so think before we go on. The white of your eye is called the sclera. And yes, these veins, when they get red and popped out, that is indicative of a relationship between organs, muscles, the whole body, and the eye. Remember, we talk about iridology all the time, right? But there's sclerology. And sclerology, I think Attila's got my sclerology books right now, but sclerology is a study of the sclera, which is the study of the blood vessels. And you notice when you tie one on, you get a little have a happy night or something, you get really bloodshot eyes. That shows, everybody says, oh, that's your stress, man. But it's acidosis. It's acidosis, however you bring that onto yourself. So what's happening here is you're systemically getting more acidic and more acidic and more acidic, and they'll get red and stay red. You can use our eye wash and everything. You never want to use Visine or anything like that. That doesn't cure the problem. You really want to take a look at internal systemic acidosis. Remove systemic acidosis, they'll become white and beautiful again. They are smaller in the mornings, but as I go through my daily, they get much bigger and redder. Why? Well, think about it. If they're related to acidosis, and the more activity you produce, the more acids you create, what do you think? Especially when you realize on top of this that you're not eliminating these acids. Your kidneys aren't filtering anymore. So if your kidneys aren't filtering anymore, like this lady's dad, then you get in trouble with that. And so as you see the day come on, you're going to see more acidosis and more acidosis. As you relax, dopamine comes in. If there's any filtration at all, it comes when you're more relaxed and things like this. People always ask me if I am high or tired. Neither. I know exactly where you're coming from. I am only 22. Oh, Lord, honey. And my eyes have always been my best feature. Oh, wow. But what, honey? Get your body alkaline again. Just get your body alkaline again, and all that white will come back again. But lately they have been bringing down my confidence. Don't let them bring down your confidence. This is just showing you, just letting you know you're developing acidosis in the body. You're 22, so you know you have kidney and adrenal. Already you know you have that problem. And if you didn't, you'd be one of the very, 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 very few in the whole world. So assuming that you do have that, or getting a picture of the eye and seeing the degree of that, but that's where you want to fix. You want to go after your kidneys, your adrenals, you want to go after your lymphatic system, go after your bowels, just getting all this acid out of the system, and you'll see the reverse happening to yourself. After seeing multiple eye docs, they say nothing can be done. Systemic acidosis. It's just systemic acidosis, and that's a big deal. This is a big deal. It's just a warning for you to fix systemic acidosis. You fix that and all those blood vessels will go away and turn white. And once in a while you'll see some really big crooks. And those are your genetics. And sometimes when your genetic weaknesses, you can relate them to your iris. And as you see the iris genetic lesions healing, Marcy just showed me this case of a young lady. She's been 2 years. But her genetic lesions are almost closing off again. One closed lacuna is now open and beautiful again. Her brown eyes are blue. I mean, it's just beautiful to see what this young lady has done on herself. She's not young. She's like 38. But boy, she looked like she was 30. But boy, what a good job she did on herself. She'd been hitting herself right there. And her mom was there. I said, Mom, she came out of you. So work on your lymph systems. This is the big deal. And by fixing that, these red capillaries will go away. I'm glad it's that instead of broken capillaries. Dr. Morse, what is the role of the thymus gland as regards the lymphatic system and all that acidosis? 3 years later, still can't get enough of your video. Gwen, love you, honey. It's a good question. We had to fish, and I mean fish, to find the growth hormone connection to the thymus. We were on the endocrinologist website, the site of endocrinology, it was tough, but we found it. And all I can say, there's definitely growth factors to the body with the thymus gland. How all that is, there's no information anywhere. Thymus gland is one of the least understood tissues in the body, in my opinion, as is the parathyroid gland. There's medical doctors that do know about the parathyroid and calcium, though, definitely. Whether they relate that or connect that to depression and osteoporosis and connective tissue weaknesses like spider veins or varicose veins, things like that, they haven't related that yet. Easy relating, though. Easy. But the thymus gland, of course, is how you take your B cells from your bone marrow. And your B cells from your bone marrow, some go to the thymus gland and become the T cells. T cells, look at them as your natural killer or your Marines or Navy SEALs or Rangers. They're the big boys. They're the main immunity of the human body. And but there's other factors with that thymus gland. We know growth. Remember out of that raw food infant down in Miami that died on raw foods, and they charged the parents with it, and they had a raw food pediatrician that came in and said, oh, wait a minute, no, raw foods are superior. And what they eventually found out was a mutated thymus gland. And this baby couldn't grow. Well, most growth hormones, you go right up to the pituitary for this. But how did they relate it to the thymus gland? But it took a lot of research to find that. And I don't know much more than that, to be honest with you. Just not more other than the T cell and the growth hormone thing. And who the heck else knows? That's why when you look at this, it's not just us that don't know a lot of these things. It's the medical community themselves. It's also research. It's also universities. There's a lot of unconsciousness on this planet in regards to health. The theories are out there. There's plenty of theories. There's a theory for about every researcher out there. But theories and a nickel will probably get you not too much. So, love you, Gwen. Thanks, honey. That's all I know about that. How it relates to acidosis in the lymphatic system, I don't know. If it stunts your growth, I don't know. I know it deals in immunity, but it's an awful big gland just to deal with T cells. So I'm sure there's so much more to the thymus gland, we don't have a clue. We just don't have a clue. Kind of like the spleen. They don't understand that the spleen actually is a lymphatic organ. They call it a blood and lymphatic organ, but it's a main lymphatic organ. It cleans the blood. It refurbishes the red blood cells. It's how the blood cleans itself. So a lot of things is not known. The biggest unknown on their side that we know is the lymphatic system, and that is the vitalness. So if we don't know about so much about the thymus and some of the other tissues, okay, just make everything healthy and you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't understand the lymph system, it puts you way back in the inferior side of even understanding why you suffer at all. So understanding the lymphatic system as we teach it, and understanding the acid nature of chemistry, the nature of acids and the nature of bases. Understanding that goes a long way. Putting that all together goes a long way to get you to go, oh, I get it. Oh, yeah, the body's just a food processing machine. Takes in nutrition, processes it, utilizes it, and then kicks out the residues from it. And most of man's suffering is the inability to remove residues and the burning of dirty fuel. When you put that all together, pretty soon you go, look at that. All man's wasted time. Let's see. Now, this is Pearl. Message. I am sighted. So having someone request this pH, call on my behalf. I've been dealing with retinitis, pigmentosa for years. Doctors say it's incurable. Doctors, this is the problem. Notice every single thing is incurable. Notice that? You guys are the one group in this world that is showing them the truth. You guys are the one main group in this whole planet that's showing them the truth. That all of this is highly reversible stuff. Oh, absolutely. Doctors say incurable, but can be halted from developing total blindness. Not really. It's like trying to control MACD. You want to fix. So anytime you see itis, doesn't matter what the first part of it is, that directs you to the tissue involved. Itis is inflammation. All right, so let's go to inflammation a minute. Inflammation is not a disease. Inflammation is a natural immune response by your body. And there's many. There's interleukins, there's histamines, but there's also cholesterol, calcium, and edema. You have many, we talk about this in our classes, the immune responses that the human body has to acids or proteins. That's the main immune response in life, is to the protein side of life. More there than any place else there is. Most immune responses is on the doorway of acids or proteins. So you know that you have inflammation in the eye tissues and you've got to get this out, because they're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. If you don't fix it, you'll lose your vision. But what they don't understand is what's causing this. So when you have inflammation, or let's use another word for inflammation. If you substitute the word acidosis in replace of inflammation, you'll be more spot on. You'll be more on the line of truth than you would be using the word inflammation, because a lot of people see inflammation as a disease. A lot of people don't understand what it really means, all these things. So, first of all, what system deals with acids. So guess what system you have down in that eye, but not just in the eye. It's going to be down in your brain, down in your cerebellum, and down in your back. And that's the lymphatic system. That's the only system that causes inflammation. You only have two systems that can cause symptoms. Everything else is just cells producing. Now, you can have a symptom when a tissue doesn't produce adequate steroids or hormones. I get all that. But when we go back to the original understanding of how health is, and not the weakness generated from the lymphatic stagnations and the types of proteins we're eating, when you get back to the normal health side of that, then you really begin to see what breaks down the human body. So you really want to get your kidneys and adrenal glands filtering. You want your adrenals up. I would probably go in with the Visioplex. It's not our formula. It's from Health Concerns. They're a Chinese manufacturing company. It's a very good formula, but it does have bilberry, which would be very helpful in your case, even if you just found bilberry and use that, because it's anti-inflammatory. But you have to move your lymphatic system. You have to get your sinuses to drain. You want to get your bowels cleaned up so your sinuses can drain. Candle your ears. Take some pressure off your eyes, because the next thing's coming is glaucoma, or glaucomic type pressure. This is just stage one. So wrong docs, developing total blind. I also had asthma. Okay, so here we go. To have asthma, you have, because asthma is a neurological weakness. Remember that. When of all the lung conditions, asthma is the first stage of COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, what they call. So basically what it's saying is that your nervous system to the lungs is down. Well, which system is that? The autonomic. You only have two nervous systems. Central, autonomic. Autonomic worker bee. Oh look, I'm autonomicing you. Hi, that's my autonomic system. Or, hi, that's my autonomic nervous system with weak adrenals. Here's my autonomic system with good adrenals. Hey, autonomic system with low blood pressure, weak adrenals. Hey. Okay, so this is good. Also with bronchial problems. So you're loaded, honey. You're loaded all the way up, the throat, the esophagus, all the way up into the sinuses, the eyes, the head area. Dangerous. So you've got to focus on your lymphatic system. Get your kidneys filtering. Go after your adrenal glands. Get your bowels cleaned up. Get everything moving. If I'm scared that I'm going to lose my vision, 100% raw. And I would go fruits, berries, and melons. Of the foods for the eyes, always the fruits and the berries. Always. And for the nervous system, and for the brain, and for the... You can go on and on and on. Now, but now mostly allergies. Lymphatics, hello. All you're doing is keep pointing, Pearl, to your lymphatic system. Everything you're claiming here is your lymphatic system. Get this, in the past, but now mostly allergies with sinus stiffness, stuffiness, which is just congested, and mucus in the head, neck, ears. You've loaded. It's all mucus. You know, that's the lymph system. So that's what you have to clean out. It's the same thing that's down in your eye here causing retinitis. Same thing. Same thing. So you can easily get that out of there. Nasal polyps, where I rest my case. Matter of fact, you are backed up bad. To have this much going on and getting nasal polyps the same way, yeah, you're backed up real bad. So what would I never want to do again the rest of my life? Dairy products, including yogurts, cheeses, ice creams, milks, all that sort of thing. That'll just clog you up even more. Nasal polyps taken out years ago, but back again. See, and it just shows you that you can remove a tumor. It'll be back. Because these are not negative things. These are the body's response to stagnation of the lymph system. That's all these are. You can't sit there and blame a tumor. You got to sit there and blame the system that the tumor's a part of. That's what you have to focus on, not the tumor itself. That's a byproduct. You want to focus on what's causing the constipation, if you will, of the lymphatic system. Well, where are you going? Kidneys and skin. Skin, thyroid, kidneys, adrenals. So you've got your whole matrix right there to work on, and working on all those things, and you're successful. But you want to be successful because this is your eyes, Pearl. And nothing good happens with that. But all you're saying, I eat meat and plant-based diet, including breads, but mostly non-gluten. How can I get rid of these problems? Thanks. Pearl, I want you to do me a favor. For the next month, I want you to do 100% raw. Absolutely no dead animal meat of any kind, no dairy products, no grains, no beans, fruits, berries, and melons, and one salad a day. You tell me when you're going to have it. Do that for 1 month, and then you write me back and tell me how your conditions are doing. If you really get serious and you want to go after this, I suggest you get on the 14-week protocol, get real serious about the changing of your diet, and go forth, because you can get yourself into some serious vision problems here. And not only that, but you've got Alzheimer's to deal with, dementia to deal with, cerebellum problems to deal with. You have a whole multitude of other things coming that's in the same line. Glaucomic pressure. So, good advice, fix it now. Fix it now. Fix it now when you're really concerned and you got the energy to do that. You guys are coming up with some good questions. I like that. Here's D. What about moving excess estrogen stores out of women's tissues, hips, thighs, buttocks, waist? Is it just moving lymph out and balancing the endocrine gland system? Would taking the female formula assist this move, or the lower circulation formula? Well, if you have excess estrogen, wow. I suppose you could say it's a lymph system that would get rid of that. I would think that the blood would filter some of that out through the kidneys and stuff as well. I would think that. Or the spleen, clean some of that out of the blood and put it into the lymph. I don't know. It's the wild thing to understand in the body is that a lot of the endocrine glands, most of them, dump their hormones and steroids interstitially. Your exocrine glands have tubes, like your pancreas is an endo and exocrine gland. So they have tubes, like the pancreatic duct. But non-ductless glands, most of your endocrine glands, dump interstitially, which is 20% blood and 80% lymph. And I've always thought to myself, wow, how interesting that estrogen or any of the steroids would be dumped interstitially. Definitely where the lymphatic system would be a participant in some of that chemistry. So good question. But the other side of that is I've never seen an estrogen dominant woman that couldn't balance out. I like what you're thinking though. I would use if I'm a female, there are a couple of the female herbs that are raw crafted pretty much to death. So we're holding on to the little bit that we have, but not really holding on to it, but but if I'm a female, I'm going to grab a female reproductive formula and I'm going to use it for about 2 months because it'll tone the ovaries and uterus, especially if I'm young, and it'll also pick up the pituitary. But I wouldn't take it over a month or two. You wouldn't need that because by fixing the lymphatic system, by getting your body base dominant and all this acid out of the body, everything just goes back to its normal function again because the chemistry you're ingesting isn't tripping inflammation. See, when you eat high protein diet, you're tripping inflammation because you're eating proteins. Body doesn't like proteins. People have to understand and get with this. The body is not a lover of protein. Matter of fact, if you watch Discover Channel enough, you'll get this. You'll start going, wait a minute. The bears aren't eating that much protein. The dogs, when they eat protein, get in trouble. So when you see an animal eating too much protein, even cats can get in trouble. So the protein side of this is totally part of the negative forces and just love to feed it to this world. So people are just lining up for high protein diets. Medicals are pushing it, and it's knocking everybody down. Boom, boom, boom. Kidney failure all over the place, RA all over the place, just all kinds of effects of high protein diets are just all over the place. And as long as people deny it, then they're just going to suffer. I don't know what else you can say about that. But absolutely, by detoxifying the body, you will bring that into balance. I'll also say here, sweetie, look to that pituitary just in case, because women that have excess bleeding and things like that or estrogen dominance, you might want to get up in the head a little bit and balance out that pituitary gland as well, because the pituitary could be sitting at the center of this as well. If you're seeing ovarian cysts, fibroids, uterine fibroids, even fibrocystic breasts, endometriosis, this is all lymphatic stuff. This is all lymphatic stuff, and highly advised. Matter of fact, I do a ton of iris analysis for people. Matter of fact, I have a new thing. You guys might like it. It's a $200, but I'm going to read your iris analysis. I'm not going to do it on paper. I'll still do your paper ones if you want them, but I'm going to dictate them. It'll be better. You'll understand more. So I'm going to dictate the iris analysis if you want them done that way, because it's just going to help me out to help you more in explaining to you through dictation what I'm seeing and what's going on here. But I would definitely lower circulation. That never hurts. To improve blood flow through the ovaries and the uterus and the pelvic areas and everything, absolutely be good. Absolutely. But I don't know if estrogen's staying around in you or not. I don't know that is the case. But balancing out, like you said, detoxing, getting the female reproductive formula is excellent to do that. Endocrine gland system is a good one for balancing out the hormones and stuff like that. But what makes them get off? What makes your steroids or hormones become underproduced or overproduced? Always acidosis. When you're looking at acidosis, you have two twin aspects of acidosis, hyper and hypoactivity. So in their effect, in their cationic effect of agglomulation and stagnation and dehydration, then you have either a hypo or hyper effect as a residual kickback to the tissues. As a rule, it's hypo, but it can be hyper. You can have hyperpituitarism, you can have hyperthyroidism, stuff like that, all from the same problem that causes hypo. It's one of God's grand illusions. This whole thing, if you look at it, is one of the grand illusions that it created for itself. And I mean, if you don't understand this level of it, you don't get a lot of things. This is a good question. It says, this is Attié. It says, what about nuts? Aren't bad proteins? You know what? If you're working from a position where you're already detoxified yourself and you fix yourself up, who cares if you have a few nuts now and then? My favorites are pignolia or pine nuts. I like them all. I don't do nuts in my daily life. I don't want the protein in my life. I can feel protein when I have too much. I don't like protein at all in my life. But if I do have some pine nuts, which about every 2 months or so, I'll go to the health food store and buy some pine nuts. And I just love pine nuts and raisins. There's just some things you just really get used to. It's like it's like raisins and almonds. But I came from a position of being a hermit in the woods for a number of years as a fruitarian into a health food store. And in my health food store, I sold every nut you can imagine, all the grains. I had my grain mill. I freshly ground your grains for you. I sold goat's milk ice cream cones. I sold raw milk yogurts, raw milk ice cream. We could sell them back then. I had a ton of raw milk cheeses. I fell into it. I thought it was healthy too. I fell into that. Even though I read books, I was heavy into fruitarianism, I was like pulled. That's why when I talk about things, I've already went through some of the pitfalls that if I can save you from going through, it's a good idea. Because I've had years off of my diets and things before, just, no help and no confidence or anything like that, and nobody that like-minded. And now you have a whole world and a whole site here of like-minded people, and you have the Ardies, and you have all these people, and to have camaraderie like that with like-minded people is like finding a pot of gold. So you guys are real lucky that you have, in these times, that you have all the help there to help you through this. Back in the day, we only had ourselves and what we read out of books, and went out there and gave it our best and see where we'd go with it. We trusted what we were reading, and we went in and did it. Here you have people that I've spent years working with people. So you have all those years of clinical work. You're seeing a lot of clinical work out of Marcy and Attié. A lot of you have gotten some clinical work in. So you've just seen massive amounts of case studies and stuff that show you how beautiful this level is. Incredible level. It's simple. Shouldn't be any argument over it. What's to argue? It's simple. It's easy. Fruits, yeah. Fruits and berries and melons, yeah. Restrictive, yeah. If you think you're an omnivore, it might be restrictive. But to gain your health back, and then you can have some salads and some nuts and things. But be careful with the nuts, especially in detoxification. And I'll give you this. I told you about the medical doctor that came to my class with kidney weakness, and all I gave him was a little of Giuliano's meatloaf, which is just veggies and nuts. And he went down, baby, on his knees in pain. So when you're in pain, you want no protein. Prove it to yourself. Get yourself all on raw. Get yourself a little out of pain, and go have you a handful of nuts. Let me show you. Because it just don't have to take my word for it. Prove it on yourself. But when you're in trouble, you do not do proteins. As unusual as that might sound, coming out of a highly conditioned, aberrated society, it is just going to be what it is. But it's just something So from our take, get away from the proteins and get into the carbons. You'll have more energy. You'll have alkalinity as opposed to acidosis. Plenty of amino acids. When you look at elephants, horses, cows, giraffes, where do they get their proteins? A common question. They don't get proteins. They get amino acids. People that get proteins get sick. People that get amino acids build muscle. Big difference. But if you're sitting there doing too many amino acids, you're going to get yourself in trouble too. These are nitrogen-formed constituents. All right. Hi, Dr. Morse. First of all, I want to say that you are a legend. Oh, thanks. Who is this here? Neha, Australia. Oh, I love Australia. Beautiful place. Every place has got its ups and downs, isn't it? Right now. You are really a hero who gives people... Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you very much. Thanks so much for watching the videos. see my health issues and help me to cure them. Be happy to. Let's see what's going on with you. My name is Neha, Neha, and I am 31 years old. Wow. Last year, 2015, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease and very bad lab result. My TSH was 189, and my thyroid was hardly making any hormones. Doctor was very surprised with my result. He prescribed me thyroxine without looking at my, without looking at my root cause. Smart man here, or lady. My condition was very bad, so I took thyroxine hardly for 2.5 months, but I decided not to take medicine anymore and started cleaning my body with raw food and veggies with some Ayurvedic herbs. After 3 months, my thyroid suddenly starts working, without any prescription medicines. I wonder why. And my, good job on yourself, by the way. Good job on yourself. And my antibodies drastically dropped. Yep, and they will. They will. My specialist said that it is a mystery. No mystery. You knew exactly what you were doing. You were detoxifying your body. Out goes the antibodies. You're moving the lymph system. Good job on yourself. However, this time my thyroid stimulated more and more higher amount of TSH. Now I have Graves' disease. No. These are just these. You're just seeing your thing going to hypo. And it's common. It's like Brady Tachy. You can get a Brady Tachy syndrome in the heart where it's slow, fast. The same thing as hypo. Keep detoxifying. Get in deeper into the body. Get focused in your detoxification, and you'll change all of that. Everything will balance out normally again. But let's keep reading here. I am taking some homeopathic medicine since December, but my numbers are not improving. I normally get tired very easily and have puffiness around my eyes. Well, you know where the problem is. The problem is way down in the kidneys and the adrenal glands. You're just getting the bump up here. I am getting my periods. Oh, this female. She's getting her periods regularly. This is interesting, though. She's getting her periods regularly, but it also fluctuates. My TSH is below 0.01. How tall are you? You want to look at your height, too, honey. See how tall you are, because your height could be a clue, not just your periods. I have seen pituitary weakness where the FSH wasn't involved. Okay. I get that. You know, different parts of the gland are involved, different hormones or steroids are involved. But it sounds like you have to work on your pituitary gland. Well, remember we talk a lot about this, and if you don't do the eyes, you probably wouldn't know this, but when we see pituitary, we also see transverse colon. Right across here. So, you want to get into those bowels because you could have some spasticity in the bowel causing a reverb to the thyroid or pituitary. So you want to bring everything into balance. Bringing things into balance is get away from taking things and just focusing in on holistic type thinking, meaning no isolates. Don't take any isolates. No chemicals, excuse me, just botanicals and herbs. Herbs and botanicals and your foods. And just bring that body. You can even leave the botanicals to the side and just go on 30 days of raw fruits, berries, and melons and let all that bring your body into balance. You could be, though, picking up, and you could have seen this all through detoxing. Got rid of the hyper, went down to the hypo. And just because of what you did. And it's not that you flip from one disease to another. That's bullcrap. But what you were doing was removing the inflammation, which was bringing down your numbers. But then your numbers shot into the basement. That's normal, though. That would be normal detox. Well, what that would be telling us, if I'm getting all my facts right in your case, that would be telling us that you have a pituitary problem. Because now you're reaching out, you're getting rid of the stimulating side of acidosis, and now you're seeing reality. And that's when I'd have to look at your eyes, look at your case, and everything else to see that. But when you have a below 0.01, you got a pituitary problem going on there. If you have a hyperthyroid, just detox. You never take anything for the thyroid gland when you're in a hyper state. So just go that way. It's the way I would do that. I would just go on a good 30-day grape, lemon juice. If you wanted to add some other fruit, okay. Maybe some berries, okay. Just go on a 30-day cleansing program up there. If you want to take some herbs to get to the kidneys, the adrenals, the lymphatic system, highly advise that. And that's how I would go after this case. If indeed I saw your eyes, which we would pull your eyes, and if I saw a pituitary like that, if you weren't in a hyper state, I would definitely, but you're not in a hyperpituitary state below 0.01, then I would go right after that pituitary gland. Right after that pituitary gland, because that means your thyroid is just trying to keep up and beating itself to death. And either that or you got a lot of inflammation in the thyroid. I am studying now. This is my last semester, and I want to get pregnant after this. Oh, wait and fix this, honey. Wait and fix this. Wait and fix this. I struggle a lot in my life to accomplish my dreams. And if it is pituitary, you want to fix it anyway, because you could have difficulty conceiving, but then also holding. See, it's not just about conceiving. It's also not aborting or holding, and not premature babies either. You want to make sure you hold good, too. So it's just strengthening yourself. And it doesn't hurt for a lady to strengthen herself up and get her glands in balance and her lymph system cleaned out before you have another visitor. Because you're donating to this planet the bodies that are in trouble. So we have to fix the females and we have to fix the babies. And the male donors too. We fix everybody. Oh, wait a minute, we got the animals too. And we got to fix those too. Well, what about the plants? They need a little help too. So I struggle a lot in my life to accomplish my dreams. I am mid of my study and aiming good job in future, but my health do not allow me. Please help me to get my health back. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, honey. No. I would take off on a raw diet, especially fruits, berries, and melons here for about a month, but I would go after the herbs and go after my lymphatic system for sure. If indeed you were not in a hyperthyroid state and you're definitely in a hypopituitary state, I would then go with the pituitary herbs first with a whole regimen of kidneys and lymphatics and everything. Bump that pituitary up and work on getting all this mucus and inflammation or acids out so everything can return to normal again. That's the only way you can fix something like that anyway. There's no treating of anything like that. You see how you're going up and down? You can't treat that. You can only detox that, because that shows you that you have something transient involved. Yep. Ellie, I've been studying with somewhat moderate cystic acne for about 8 months. Oh, I've been struggling with somewhat moderate cystic acne for about 8 months. I follow an extremely strict healthy diet and only consume vegetables and salmon. Yuck! Well, first of all, I would ixay the salmon as fast as I could, especially with cystic acne. The other part of this, I'd get rid of the veggies and go to the fruits and the berries and the melons. Now, your acne might look a little worse at first because now you're stirring up the pot. You're bringing in astringents, you're stirring things up. At the same time, I'm going after my body. I'm going after the system that's causing this. I'm going after the lymphatic system. I'm going after the kidneys, the adrenal glands, the skin, checking my thyroid. Right? I'm going after the lymphatic system. I'm going to clean up my bowels. Right? So I'm going to get away from this diet. This diet would be okay in if you just wanted to sustain life and you really didn't want to be gigantically healthy. And yeah, you could stay with this pretty good, but you want to fix some things first. But do recommend you have a lot more fruits, berries, and melons in your diet. But to fix this, you got to get rid of the vegetables and the salmon. Spend some time at the higher levels of health for a while. Get your body cleaned up and then go down if you want. My acne seems to heal and then come back many times. Well, you're kind of in that kind of diet. Your diet's kind of one that can do that to you, is what it looks like to me. I also take organic vitamins, probiotics, and fermented foods. Well, I'm going to say nixay on the fermented foods, nixay on the probiotics, nixay on the organic vitamins. Get your nutrition through your holistic foods. Get them through your fruits, your berries, your melons. And if you feel like you have to have more, juice some greens. But don't isolate. Don't take isolated vitamins. Probiotics, that's crazy. And that's a gastric distress, so you don't have to worry about that. The nature seats itself. And fermented foods, why are you trying to eat dead foods for again? They're not completely dead. They're on the way. And then, if you get excess fungus from all that, don't be complaining about candida problems. I have restricted my food type for a long time, and nothing seems to be working because you're not on the foods to work. You're not on the foods to clean the body and to clean this up. So I didn't expect you to see much better. You can see a little improvement where you're at, because where you're at is a whole lot better than a lot of other people. That's for sure. but you're not at the level you need to be to fix this, in my opinion. And that's going to be fruits, berries, and melons only. Put yourself on a grape and lemon fast. Put yourself on a 30-day fruit fast. Clean your body out. You know, get your kidneys working, get your lymph working, clean up your skin, make sure your thyroid's giving you enough temperature under the arm. Could you please tell me what I can do to cure this, as I know acne is not supposed to occur unless there is a problem. It's just lymph acids. I'm going to have to break off in a minute because we have an interview. We're hiring a bunch of people, and we're having a hard time hiring anybody. People don't want to work. They call and they get an interview and then they don't show up. It's hard to get good help, and we are in desperate need of help. I never knew how to pronounce this. V-A-I-D-A-S. I'm one of the worst. Although, depends what school you go to. I went to an Indiana school that was ranked like 38th in the state or something. You're just stuck where you are. In your book, the Detox Miracle Source Book, you put plums under acid-forming foods. Can you elaborate more on plums, please? Yeah, they're a little acid-forming. Plums have always been a little acid-forming, like tomatoes. But I don't see that they'll hurt you. I don't eat them much, to be honest with you, just because I can feel that. But I'm real sensitive to acid-forming foods. But I can eat a good beefsteak tomato once in a while with mixed with avocado and a guacamole. I can do that. But if you have some of them, I don't see that as much of a problem, to be honest with you. Plums, prunes, those are all a little on the acidic side. But they're still fairly nutritious and holistic, I would think. I don't have anything negative to say about them. All right, this is kind of a long one. Hang on a minute. Okay, here's a... this is Farnaz. I am a female and 30 years old. Oh, look at all the young, beautiful people out there. You young, beautiful people out there. You're this planet's future. I'm just so pleased to see all of you working on yourselves, getting healthy, because you're the message to this world. Some of us are getting older and time to leave one of these days, and so you guys are the ones. So, let me get you all up to speed on this, and you guys will be a revolutionary on the planet. Change the whole planet. How cool is that? Raw vegan for almost 5 years. Good job. Problem: since 5 months, I cannot digest anything raw. Oh, interesting. I have sticky stool and diarrhea. Cooked foods digest better, but not good enough. Look at that. 5 years eating, same. Fruit all day, right? And salads at night. What is the problem now? I took GI Broom, Lymph, and female capsules. And I also had a lot of colon cleanses. Maybe you did too many colon cleanses. I don't know. I don't feel my best with the cooked foods, and since I eat them, I have painful period. Interesting. I want to eat raw, but I can't. What is the problem? Thanks. All right. So you know what I would do with this? I'd want to see your eyes to see what's going on pancreatically, because when you're having a hard time digesting raw foods, those would be carbohydrates, and specifically, that would lead you to a pancreatic problem. Could be you're in a small period of a healing crisis, although I doubt it, but there are healing crises that you go through that the pancreas just shuts down and you don't digest anything. But I would definitely get our pancreatic formula and start taking it. I'd take probably 2 capsules 3 times a day if it was me, for at least a bottle, and see how that does. I'd also start going with high up on the fruits and the berries and the melons. I would chew more, even those. Chew more. Have smaller meals more often. Don't have big meals. I would want to take a look at maybe the thyroid gland. Because as you get healthier, I know this is somewhat of a misunderstanding in detoxification. Sometimes as you detox deeper, things appear to get worse. And the reason you see some of these unknown factors like this come up like this is now you're at these areas of weakness. And I'm going to lay you $100 on this table here that if I look in your eyes, sweetheart, I'm going to find a pancreatic genetic weakness. And if that's the case, that will show you that's where your body is right now. So whenever you see that and you get to that point that your body just says, hey, I'm done, first of all, it needs a little break. Second of all, I would really keep my diet pure and simple. Vegetables are too hard to digest. So when your body's saying stop, because there's another part of this is that if you're so advanced or the body doesn't want food anymore, it'll just basically shut you down from eating. That's how nature does. You don't get hungry. You're not hungry at all. It's basically a dry fast or a water fast, and it's not you. It's nature. It's how nature works, and that's how it heals itself more through dry and water fasting than foods. This is why you see that in nature. And all the animals go through it. All life goes through that aspect. I imagine there's plants that don't absorb nutrition at a certain point going through this. So everything goes through these stages for sure. In detoxification, though, when you run into an area that your body's working, whether it's the liver or the heart, you'll start to have symptoms in that area. So this could be what's going on. Just one little aspect it could be. I would definitely want to do the pancreatic formula, though, because I don't like how this is sounding. Could be that you got super aggressive with the bowels too much or something, and you just need to take a break. So you might want to take a little break from all that. I don't know if you did any herbs with all this. You just did diet or whatever. But you might want to put yourself on the Fab 4 herbal program. You know, where you're going after the kidneys, the adrenals, the endocrine glands, the bowels, and just kind of move yourself down that road a little bit. You might want to go to the store. We have a gentian in the pancreatic formula. That'll help stimulate pancreatic function and liver function. So that's kind of the way I would go with this. And let me know if you are having more problems with this. And if you want to send in eyes to Chris, tag it that I wanted them and asked for them. And you're the girl that stopped digesting food. And let's see what's going on with your eyes. But I would back up, have smaller meals more often, digest more in your mouth, take a pancreatic formula to help inspire pancreatic function again, because you don't know what your genes look like. And you want to look in your eyes and take a look if you have a lesion or a lacuna right there at the pancreatic or gallbladder, liver, you know, anywhere in those areas. What's the condition of your GI tract, things like that. And I'm going to have to close off here pretty quick. Now here's another one. I have found out I have grave disease 5 weeks ago. I am now following a raw food diet, fruits all day and vegetables in the evening. Also take God's herbs. Oh, good. I follow your protocol with Rossane Calabrese. I have been having sleeping problems and severe vertigo for the last 2.5 years, but I only been diagnosed with grave disease 5 weeks ago. Please help. I do feel amazing now that I have started your protocol. You an amazing. Oh, thanks. You did exactly the way you should be, and Rossane, of course, is a sweetheart. So that's Dr. Calabrese. She's an acupuncturist, a good, great friend, just a great, lovely soul. Came to me with a huge goiter, and she took care of that pretty quickly. But I don't like this vertigo, severe vertigo here that you've had about 2 years ago and sleeping problems, because now you know you're up here in your involvement, and that you want to start detoxing the head area. Well, that's easier said than done, of course. You got to get everything down below kind of moving again. You got to get the kidneys filtering a little bit and get the bowels cleaned up and everything else. I would candle my ears for sure. Use cold complexes when you feel that lightheadedness and vertigo coming. But really work on upper circulation, brain and nerve. I would have that as 2 formulas in my program. I would definitely be after my kidneys, my adrenals, my lymphatic system, my GI tract, for sure. So I'd be going in that way. And if you wanted to help, but this shows you that you're involved here and the pineal as well. If you wanted to get a little better sleep, take a pineal glandular So you're not taking hormones, melatonin. So you're taking a pineal glandular. I would take 1 to 2 capsules, 1 to 2 hours BS before sleep. And that help you while you're rebuilding, and that'll actually help turn on that pineal gland a little bit. It's non-hormonal, so it'll help get that moving. But it does show you that there's a pineal weakness going on there. You're just exposing these things yourself, and I tell you, there's the transverse bowel in your case. You can tell that. I can tell you already. So really want to open up these doorways for yourself and get this vertigo out. Nothing ever good comes of this. Matter of fact, it's a big part of MS. So it's just these things you want to get out of you. The next stage is brain lesions or whatever, and because you're locked up here lymphatically. And that's, of course, acidosis, which yields inflammation. So you want to fix yourself up with that. That'll fix up the thyroid as well. You're just seeing an involvement lymphatically all up here, and the kickback from that, whatever name they give you. But that's all you're seeing. Get that lymphatic moving out of that head area. Use your neural lymphatics down your spine, candle your ears, and see if you can't open some doors here. Put yourself in a better position here, okay? Good deal. Well, I think that's pretty much, they haven't covered anything, pretty much says it. So maybe we can do one more. This is Brooke. Hi, I just found out I have allergies, asthma, and nose polyps. This is the same one, isn't it? This is the one we just talked about, wasn't it? And went vegan a month ago. I'm wondering what I'm eating like. Grains or something that is making it worse. I went to the doctor and he gave me prednisone. Ouch. A prednisone inhaler. And all this medicine, I'm wondering if I even need to take any of those. Also, if I am eating wrong things, how do I detox my lymphatic system? Okay, Brooke. First of all, you want to get yourself up on fruits, berries, and melons. Now, that's going to create some activity, movement. All right? Now, very important here. Asthma. That's an adrenal gland weakness. But that trip, that's showing you why you have allergies. Because allergies is lymphatic. So here you are, you're demonstrating here that you have asthma, which is an adrenal gland neurological weakness. And that same adrenal gland has, of course, shut down kidneys, so you're now seeing your lymphatic system backed up. Now, of course, you're seeing nose polyps from this, which is just little tumors. And that's just how it goes. Okay, so first thing, grains, you need to be 100% raw, and I'd get rid of the vegetables. I really would. I would get rid of the vegetables and go fruits, berries, and melons, all you want, as much as you want. Now, you're going to have some detox symptoms as your skin could explode a little bit. You could start to see mucus coming out all over the place. Good. But I would get on herbs for the kidneys, the lymphatic system, the adrenal glands. Get on your focus of proper detoxification with one little hiccup. I would take brain and nerve, number 2. I would add that to my formula because this is a neurological weakness with asthma. And you can't take a deep breath. So these are neurological issues as well, and you want to fix that. You need the adrenal neurotransmitters for that, but a good neurological formula will help build you up and make you breathe easier. Furthermore, instead of taking prednisone, which will put yourself in a hellville in a hurry, I would do our antispasmodic. An antispasmodic will help with this. It'll help with the tightness. It'll relax, but allow you to breathe better, but also allow you to spit up mucus and stuff. Aerobid and some of the natural inhalers, no way. They're not only cancer-causing, which means they lock acids in your lungs, and then the acids burn your cells, and then they get to call it cancer. But any of these inhalers are suppressants. This will just make you start building up masses in the lungs, so you don't want that. So you want to fix your adrenal glands, get your kidneys filtering, go after your lymph system, which is just what you're talking about here. The polyps will come out, everything will come out, your sinuses will drain, but I would candle my ears, and work on myself a little that way and kind of open things up, hot and cold compresses, a little bit of sunshine, make sure you're working on the bowels, opening them up, making sure you're working on your kidneys and your endocrine glands. And I would stay high up on the fruits, berries, and melons, get your sinuses and everything taken care of. That's what I would do. And you'll be good. You'll be good, good, good. Oh, I might be able to scoop one more. Oh, this is Paul. Hey, Paul. How you doing, my friend? Dr. Morse, you're a star. You're a star, Paul. Love you, man. I love your vids. I have a question about recommended daily intake on vitamins and minerals. Interesting, huh? Yeah, you notice that, I see this all the time, where they bring in their bags of them, and when you start looking at them, instead of taking 10,000 units of vitamin A, they're at 100. Instead of 1,000 milligrams of calcium, they're at 10,000. For example, it is recommended that we have an intake of 1,000 milligrams of calcium daily. 15 milligrams of iron daily, etc., etc. Is this right? No. It is not right. You know, you do not want man dictating to you what you need for your health. That is the gravest mistake that we've all made. Man is working from a high position of ignorance. Nature is the one that created all this. So which are you going to go to? Nature. So what does nature have to say about these sort of things? Its dosages are already set. Its pHs are already set. Its ratios, not just dosages, its ratios. For an example, you can't just take 1,000 milligrams of calcium. Hell no. You'll get yourself in big time trouble. Because what about its twin sister, magnesium? Oh, wait, we're just starting down the family member line. We got a little brother phosphorus, we got a lot of little brothers and sisters, we have cousins, we have distant cousins. So all of chemistry is families. They're all family members. Some don't get a chance to know each other real well. Some are real big, some are real small. You don't want to get in that game at all. I was in that game for a little while. I did biochemistry for a while. I did dreams. I did a lot of different things. And I just woke up out of the dream. You know, I was in the woods as a fruitarian. I'm now in a health food store. I got supplements. I got all kinds of things. My eyes are big and open. I'm in a candy store. I'm going, oh, wow. It didn't take long for my health to go down from that, going down in a health food store. And I'm going, what? And I realized I got off my beat. I was pulled by people's theories and things into another world. My beliefs are always been fruitarian. My proof that we've demonstrated over and over on tens of thousands of people have demonstrated these high levels of fruits, berries, and melons will cure literally anything. And I got off point because I didn't have anybody that was stable. I didn't have anybody that had years of practicing with people and playing those games to help me to say, hey, can't do those things. So you guys are lucky you have this. Whether you believe me or not, it's okay. You know, sometimes we have to make a step, and if we fall, we fall. If we don't, we don't. Good. But I only give you information that I think that's detrimental. If I thought 1,000 milligrams of calcium would be good for you, I'd be the first one to say take it. But I've seen people take 1,000 milligrams or more of calcium and end up with severe arthritis from it. So you have to be real careful, because what are we not considering? We're not considering pH ratios. We're not considering parathyroid glands, the utilization of these elements, the proper absorption. So we're looking at a malabsorbed person. Can you give a malabsorbed person the same milligrams as someone that's absorbing well? Or how about the same person that's producing not enough parathormone, which is the utilization of calcium, or too much? You see where I'm going with that? So this is a brain tease that goes nowhere. Goes literally nowhere. And you can hurt yourself. You know, rarely, but you can hurt yourself. I've seen people give them severe arthritis by taking calcium supplements. So I totally get out of that field. I'm not into that. I don't consider isolates as part of the natural health field anymore. That's more pharmaceutical thinking. So I don't use that too much more. Where do they get these numbers from? Good example. These are biochemists with theories. Biochemists with theories. And you see them in different formulas, have different levels of them. So different biochemists, I know plenty of biochemists, and I know how they think. I know how this thing rocks. And I can just tell you that it's not a place you want to stay long. You know, if you want to visit and say, no, I don't need you. Good. Are they basing this need on the average healthy person who is probably not absorbed? Yeah, you hit it right on the head, Paul. You hit it right on the head. That's what I love about you guys, because remember these 4 basic processes that's essential to wellness. Digestion, what the person isn't breaking down their foods properly to get the minerals out of it. Plus, we're really talking more salts, really, when you're looking at foods than minerals. But, okay, so for the sake of argument, we'll talk about minerals. All right, so first of all, if you're not digesting properly and you have undigested foods and stuff, you're not getting your chemistry out of them, are you? Second of all, you hit it right on the head, Paul, proud of you. Malabsorption. What if you're malabsorbed? You might need 10,000 milligrams of calcium, right? I mean, in their line of thinking. All right, so absorption, huge deal. Utilization. How is this calcium that you're taking being utilized? Oh, I need parathyroid hormone for that. Yeah. And so when I pull back to the plants and I see how little milligrams they have of calcium, and then how much parathormone I'm going to need when I take 1,000 milligrams of calcium, I'm going to have to kick up my parathyroid way up there. See what I'm saying? There is so much unawareness to these people in mapping out the body as a whole. They're not looking at the whole picture. They're just drawing in with their minds, and they're trapped in their academics. You guys have pulled back, and now I'm painting the whole picture for you so you can see everything and realize there's all these processes before you can even think about deficiency or giving someone isolates like that. And that would only be to save someone's life, because you can get in trouble pushing out other forms of chemistry. If I took 1,000 milligrams of calcium, 1,000 milligrams of magnesium is going to have to leave my body. Where's it going to go to and from? You can't play that game. They're twin sisters. Cal and Meg has to be together. But wait a minute. You can't ignore the little brother phosphorus. He's acidic, though. These two ladies are base chemistry. Phosphorus is acidic. See where I'm going with all this? But they're all ratioed, saturated, and perfectly formed to hold form or substance or whatever you're eating. So that whole chemical composition has reached a saturation point to where it's stable. And that's what we look at. When you start opening up some of these bonds, now you're creating a little more unstable chemistry, which has open-end bonds, and now you're bonding other elements to it. Taking calcium by itself could create a diffuse bonding of other elements we might not want. You have to understand that everything bonds in the body, and you open up some bonds that might not... we already create some extreme proteins by cooking now. I mean, look at what we created in dairy proteins from extreme pasteurization. Just to look at a dairy protein causes mucus to build up in you. So, we got some serious problems with that sort of thinking. But Paul, good question, excellent question. You guys are coming out with the best questions. Important that we go over these things too, because it's important that I keep showing you holistic. All, one. It's more powerful, it's more on point. What the body can't use, it excrete. This way, you've got a little bit of a problem trying to get rid of excess calcium, which most of it's going to probably be excess. So you're going to end up in an acidic medium. So here's the other point with this. Here's someone taking, say, 1,000 milligrams of calcium in a highly stagnant acidic medium. What happens? Ionization, right? So what does that mean? That means calcium is going to lose a lot of its electrolytes to the acid side, meaning that you're going to see the attempt of the body to bring hydration, but you're going to see bonding of some of the acid principles with calcium creating rocks. That's how you get kidney stones and everything else. So you have to be real careful in the human body. When it's acidic, you definitely want to be careful with isolates, because you now are putting isolates in the presence of an acidic body, when most nutrition is supposed to go into a base dominant body. You see where I'm going with all this? We're so on the acidic side that everything acts differently. Absorption is different. Utilization, metabolism is all off. Everything is different under an acid sky than it is a base sky. obviously. And we've talked about that before, and the pH of the duodenal juices have to be somewhere between 7.5 to 8.5 for proper trypsin, which is your polypeptide protein chain, and to your amylase and tylen, your carbohydrate chains. They all have to be in an alkaline medium. What if we're not getting there? Then you're not utilizing digestive enzyme. And this might be the problem with this one girl that's not digesting anymore. She's so acidic that she's not tripping up her digestive enzymes. So there's a lot to think about. But at the same time, keep it simple and realize, you know what, if we just eat our health, well, that's what Hippocrates said anyway. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. That makes sense to me. And then if we need medicine, we've got the best medicino on the planet. Those are the botanicals created by the Creator, who created the chemistry and the body for it. It's all good stuff. Love your questions, guys. Love you, Paul. Love all you guys. Thank you so much for all your loving questions. And they help to round us off, because some of these questions haven't been asked yet. And I appreciate you asking questions that haven't been asked yet. We've covered skin until hell's freezing over, I think. So it's just important that one understands the gigantic lymphatic system, the two sides of chemistry, acid and base, the nature of acids, the nature of bases, as basic stuff. You know, anybody can throw up an argument, but as basic stuff, and overview all this, and you'll finally go, wow, look at that, how simple. How simple. We've been lost in academics and complexities, and it's all been right in front of our face in the beginning. But that's God. That's how it works. That's how it rocks. It's how it rose in its creation. Don't know. It's enough to say that. Thanks for waking up. It is fun talking to a lot of beautiful beings that have good questions and are really focused on truth and everything else. You know, people can make their videos. People can say the negative things they can say about us or me. You know, it's like people in glass houses. You know, we're just good, loving people trying to help people out there. That's all we are. It's all we ever been. It's all I've ever been. I'm a God man, period. End of story. That's all I care about. It's all I live for. So I have nothing else on my agenda. But I love you guys and proud to be here and work with you guys. Happy to know you all, and especially you young guys and gals, 5 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, 13 years old, 14 and 15 years old, going after your health issues. I am so proud of you guys. It is a pleasure to be here and work with you guys. Thank you.